Welcome to the debut episode of The Changeover. I'm Arthur Vance, and yes, I am currently tapping my water bottle exactly 3 times before we start.
3 taps. Every single time. It's a miracle we ever get an episode recorded.
Hey, it wards off the bad energy. Plus, the venue Wi-Fi here is clearly part of a massive conspiracy to disconnect me mid-sentence, so I need all the help I can get.
I'm Elena Cruz, by the way. And I promise to bring actual data to this podcast, not just superstitions.
And I'm Julian Price. I assure you, Arthur, your rituals are far less disruptive than the actual player warm-ups I witnessed this past weekend.
Oh, that's right. You just got back from Miami, didn't you?
I did. And let me tell you, the player lounge is a theater of quiet desperation right now. I have some rather interesting observations to share about a certain world number 3.
Well, before Julian spills the tea, as the kids probably don't say anymore, we should mention that today's episode is powered by SecondServeAces.com.
Exactly. They are the absolute best.
It's where we get all the baseline data for our tactical breakdowns. If you want to see the actual geometry behind the matches, go to SecondServeAces.com.
Speaking of breakdowns, I think the tennis world just had a collective one yesterday.
You're referring to the earthquake in the WTA, I presume.
Iga Swiatek.
Losing to Magda Linette in Miami. Just, wow.
And ending a 73-match opening round win streak. Which, statistically, is just absurd. It defies probability.
The loss itself is shocking, yes. But the immediate dismissal of Wim Fissette, that's the real story here.
18 months they were together. That's a lifetime in tennis years.
Right. And you don't just sever an 18-month partnership over one bad afternoon in Florida. There has to be friction beneath the surface.
Precisely. Which brings me to what I saw in Miami.
Wait, you actually saw something?
Just a brief moment. I was walking past the practice courts on Tuesday. Fissette was trying to run a specific transition drill, and the body language was frosty.
Frosty how? Like, avoiding eye contact?
More like a complete absence of dialogue. Swiatek was hitting the ball with this mechanical, almost grim intensity. He'd offer a correction, and she'd just nod once. No engagement whatsoever.
You know, I love a good underdog narrative. Magda Linette stepping up and playing the match of her life, completely unbothered by the aura of the world number 3.
She did play incredibly well, Arthur. But let's look at the geometry of that match. Iga was hitting her forehand noticeably flatter.
I noticed that too. The net clearance was entirely uncharacteristic for her.
Yeah, the RPMs on her topspin dropped by roughly 15% in the second set. That's not Linette forcing an error, that's Iga fighting her own mechanics.
So you're saying Fissette was tinkering too much behind the scenes?
It's a classic coaching dilemma. You take on a generational talent, and you feel compelled to add value.
Right.
You want to prove your worth by fixing something that perhaps isn't broken.
Or maybe just modernizing it. I mean, the tour adapts quickly. If you don't evolve, you regress.
But if evolving means hitting the net tape 4 times in a single game...
Yeah, that's a problem.
It reminds me of when a player tries to switch to a heavier frame mid-season. The intention is more power, but the reality is usually a sore wrist and early exits.
Do you think she just panicked? The streak was so long. 73 matches is a heavy crown to wear.
I don't think she panicked. Iga is too methodical for that. The timing of the firing suggests it was premeditated.
I agree completely. The Linette match was merely the catalyst. The final straw, if you will.
So where does she go from here? The clay season is basically knocking on the door.
That's the fascinating part. Going into the European clay swing without a head coach is a massive gamble.
Or it's incredibly freeing. Think about it. No voice in your ear telling you to flatten out your forehand. Just you, the red dirt, and pure instinct.
Instinct doesn't usually win you Roland Garros, Arthur. Tactical discipline does.
I don't know, Elena. Sometimes a little chaos is exactly what a player needs to reset. Look at Agassi back in the day.
Please don't invoke Agassi. You know that's my weak spot. I still watch his 99 French Open run when my predictive models fail me.
Ah, yes. The glorious, unquantifiable chaos.
Exactly. But Swiatek is the antithesis of chaos. She thrives on structure. Which is why I suspect she already has someone lined up.
Oh? Any names floating around the player dining area in Miami?
Nothing concrete. But I did see her physio having a rather long, animated chat with a certain former Spanish player who knows a thing or two about sliding on clay.
Wait, seriously?
You can't just drop a hint like that and not give us a name, Julian.
A gentleman never tells, Arthur. At least not until the ink is dry on the contract. Clearly searching for a profound reset, Eleanor.
Exactly. Because she just dropped a massive bombshell.
The split with Fissette.
Right after that second-round exit to Magda Linette in Miami.
A rather abrupt end to what seemed like a fruitful partnership.
I mean, is it really that surprising? The writing felt like it was on the wall.
Statistically, yes, it's surprising. Her baseline metrics haven't dropped.
But tactically, she looked entirely bereft of ideas out there against Linette.
She looked stressed. I was watching the feed, and the stadium Wi-Fi kept dropping.
Arthur, the Wi-Fi at Hard Rock Stadium is fine.
It's a targeted blackout against independent media, Elena, I'm telling you.
Let's leave the cyber conspiracies aside for a moment.
Thank you, Julian.
Though I will say, I was just down at the tournament grounds yesterday.
Oh, here we go.
And the whispers around the practice courts were quite loud.
What kind of whispers?
Just that the communication had completely broken down. A lot of silent glares during practice sessions.
See, that's the human element your geometry can't map, Elena.
I can map unforced errors, Arthur. And she had plenty.
Linette played a remarkably disciplined match, though.
It was a classic underdog performance. Linette had nothing to lose.
She completely dismantled Iga's forehand timing.
By rushing her, taking the ball incredibly early.
Which Fissette apparently had no counter strategy for.
If you read the tactical breakdown on secondserveaces.com,
a fantastic piece, by the way,
it highlights exactly how Linette exploited the wide deuce court.
It's a tough pill to swallow for the world number 3.
Indeed. But speaking of tough pills...
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Medvedev.
Daniel Medvedev.
A 6-0 first set. A bagel. Against Francisco Cerundolo.
I nearly spilled my water when I saw that scoreline.
Did you tap the bottle 3 times first?
Always, Julian. It's basic hydration hygiene.
You are impossible.
A 6-0 first set against a player of Medvedev's defensive caliber is
a statistical anomaly of the highest order.
It was beautiful. Cerundolo was just painting the lines.
He was.
He completely broke down the baseline wall.
Medvedev looked like he was trying to solve a math problem in a foreign language.
Well, Cerundolo's forehand is a rather unique weapon.
The RPMs he generates are absurd.
And the disguise. He hits it so late.
It's almost a trick shot in itself.
Wait. Julian, are you validating trick shots?
I am merely appreciating the biomechanical complexity, Elena.
He watches those YouTube compilations, Elena. I've seen his browser history.
I do no such thing.
Let's stick to the match. Medvedev fought back to take the second set 6-4.
Classic Daniel. Grinding it out.
He adjusted his return position, moved even further back.
Practically in the parking lot.
Which is where the Wi-Fi routers usually are, incidentally.
Arthur, please.
Sorry. Go on.
The third set was a bloodbath. 7-5 to Cerundolo.
And it ended on a double fault.
Match point. A double fault on match point.
My win probability matrices absolutely short-circuited.
It was a tragic conclusion to a rather heroic comeback attempt.
I love it, though. Cerundolo just kept swinging.
He didn't let the moment crush him.
Which takes immense psychological fortitude.
Or just a healthy dose of irrational confidence.
Sometimes they are the exact same thing.
Quite right. Now, if we want to talk about rational confidence...
Oh, we are talking about the Italian.
Jannik Sinner.
26 consecutive sets at the Masters 1000 level.
Breaking a 10-year record held by Novak Djokovic.
That is just... It's difficult to process.
He routed Corentin Moutet 6-1. 6-4.
Moutet had absolutely no answers.
To be fair, nobody has answers for Sinner right now.
It's a level of clinical execution that is almost frightening.
His ball striking is so clean, it messes up my variance charts.
He plays like a guy who never has to worry about his microphone blinking green.
Is that still bothering you?
It's menacing, Julian. It stares at me.
Just put a piece of tape over it, Arthur.
And disrupt the hardware ecosystem? No, thank you.
Returning to Sinner.
Please.
What impressed me most wasn't just the power but the restraint.
He doesn't overhit.
He hits exactly as hard as the geometry of the court allows.
Precisely. It's a masterclass in controlled aggression.
And doing it consistently enough to break a Djokovic record?
That's the part that truly matters.
Djokovic's 2014-2015 run was considered practically untouchable.
We all thought that record would stand for decades.
Well, the data suggested it was highly improbable to replicate.
But Sinner has systematically dismantled that improbability.
Moutet tried to slice him, drop shot him, bring him forward.
And Sinner just swatted him away.
And that's a wrap for this week. Head to secondserveaces.com for the full deep dives on every match we covered today.
See you next time on The Changeover. Cheers.